I'm 81 now, and some nights the memories feel heavier than others. Tonight they're asking to be spoken. I take a breath that smells like honeysuckle and summer heat. Oh, everybody calls me Grandma Evelyn these days, but once upon a time I was just Evie, single mama, dead broke, scared out of my mind, and meaner than a wet cat when it came to protecting my boy. Let me take you back to the night I finally snapped. The night I quit pretending. The night I walked into the fanciest joint in Atlanta looking like I'd been dragged through a Goodwill bin backwards, and walked out owning the whole damn room. I never told my son Lucas what I really did for a living. Not once in 35 years. To him I was just the quiet lady in the beat-up Corolla who clipped coupons like it was an Olympic sport, who wore the same black cardigan till the elbows went shiny, who made spaghetti sauce stretch 4 days and never ever complained. He figured I pushed papers in some gray cubicle for $12 an hour. Sweet boy never knew his mama was pulling down 40 grand a month, signing deals that moved countries, firing men twice my size before lunch. I liked it that way. Real money whispers, baby. Don't scream. But one Tuesday the phone rang and Lucas's voice cracked like he was 12 again and had just broken my favorite lamp. Mom, Harper's folks flew in from London. First time they're meeting you. Dinner Saturday at the Capitol Grill downtown. Please say you'll come. The please was soaked in panic. Not excitement. Panic. I heard it loud and clear. Don't embarrass me, Mom. Don't show up looking like we're one paycheck from the food bank line. That please hurt worse than a slap. My own baby boy was ashamed of me before we even walked through the door. Something inside me went real quiet. The kind of quiet that comes right before a Georgia thunderstorm rips the sky in half. Course I'll be there, sugar, I told him, sweet as tea. Wouldn't miss it. I hung up, looked around my little apartment, same cracked linoleum, same thrift store couch, same quiet, and I made a decision that changed everything. If they wanted poor shamed my son into begging me to dress nice, I was gonna give 'em poor. Full-on Oscar-worthy, eat your heart out Meryl Streep poor. I wanted to feel bone deep how nasty people can get when they think you ain't worth the dirt on their Gucci loafers walk on. Saturday night I went full method actor. I dug out the ugliest dress I owned, light gray, shapeless, pilled up, looked like a potato sack somebody cried in. Stockings with a run I stopped with clear nail polish. Shoes I bought at the church rummage sale for 3 presidents ago. No makeup. Hair in a sad little bun that screamed, I gave up in 1998. I even rubbed a little flour in it so it looked dull and lifeless. I stared in the mirror and didn't recognize myself. But perfect. I looked like somebody life had chewed up and spit out. I took a cab because my Corolla with the duct-taped side mirror would have been too on the nose, and rolled up to the Capitol Grill like a stray cat somebody felt sorry for. The valet damn near dropped his clipboard when I stepped out clutching a canvas tote older than Jesus. Inside it was pure theater, chandeliers dripping diamonds, waiters in tuxes moving like they were on rails, air that smelled like money and truffle oil. Lucas spotted me first. His face went the color of skim milk. Harper, my gorgeous daughter-in-law in her cream silk dress and heels that cost more than my rent, looked like she wanted the floor to swallow her whole. And there they were, Veronica and Franklin, Harper's parents, looking like they'd been carved outta a yacht catalog. Veronica's neck was dripping diamonds heavy enough to sink a canoe. Franklin's watch probably had its own zip code. They looked me up and down like I was something the cat dragged in, then offered me 2 fingers to shake like I might give her cooties. Hey y'all, I said in my best little old lady voice, soft and cracked around the edges. Hope I'm not too underdressed. Veronica's smile could have frozen bourbon. Oh, Evelyn, you're quaint. Quaint. Lord, give me strength. They parked me at the far end of the table, the kiddie table seat, like I was the +1 nobody wanted. The menu was in French and had no prices. I acted like I'd never seen one before in my life. Veronica sighed like a martyr. Here, let me order for you, dear. Something simple. Simple. There's that word again. She ordered me a plain chicken breast. No sauce. No sides. The cheapest thing on the menu. I swear the waiter looked sorry for me. Then the real fun began. Veronica started flexing, casual as you please, but every word was a shank. Our suite at the St. Regis is $1,000 a night. The Bentley we rented is just divine. Picked up a little Birkin yesterday, nothing major, only 12 grand. Every sentence was a measuring tape around my neck. I just nodded, big eyes. Bless your heart, that's so nice. Inside I was taking notes like a court stenographer. Then she leaned over, voice dripping syrup and venom. Evelyn, Franklin and I have been talking. Lucas worries about you so much, all alone on that little salary. We'd like to help. How does $700 a month sound? Just a little something so he doesn't have to stress. My heart stopped beating for a second. $700. To vanish. To stop calling. Stop visiting. Stop existing so their perfect princess didn't have to look at my thrift store shoes ever again. Lucas stared at his plate like it might save him. Harper's knuckles were white around her wine glass. I felt something inside me crack wide open. 40 years of swallowing pride, of smiling while men talked over me, of working till I cried in the elevator, of never letting Lucas see me break. All of it rushed up my throat like bile. I set my fork down real gentle. The room got real quiet. I looked Veronica dead in her Botoxed face, and let 60 years of Southern woman rage roll out smooth as honey. Let me make sure I understand you correctly, sugar. You're offering me $700 a month to disappear from my only child's life. That about the size of it. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. I leaned forward. Tell me, how much was that down payment y'all gave the kids for the house? She swallowed. 40,000. And that 3-week honeymoon in Europe? 15. So 55 grand buys you my son's gratitude. But 700 is enough to buy his mama's silence. Girl math is wild these days. Lucas whispered. Mom, please. I held up one finger. He shut up. Good boy. I turned back to Veronica. And when I tell you the temperature at that table dropped 20 degrees. Let me tell you a bedtime story, Veronica. And I did. I told them about the 23-year-old girl with a 6-week-old baby and an eviction notice, working 2 jobs while her milk dried up from stress. I told them about eating saltines for dinner so Lucas could have formula. I told them about studying for my MBA on the night shift security desk with a newborn asleep on my chest. I told them about the men who called me honey and paid me 70 cents on the dollar while I outworked every single one of them. I told them about crying in my car in the parking garage at 2 a.m. because I was so tired I couldn't remember Lucas's face, then wiping my mascara and walking back in to close a deal. And then I dropped the bomb. Right now, today, I pull in $40,000 a month. Been doing it almost 20 years. That's $10 million, give or take, before taxes. I run 5 countries for a company you've definitely heard of. I fire men who make more in a year than you've got in your 401k before my second cup of coffee. The whole table went graveyard still. Lucas's fork hit the plate so hard it rang like a church bell. Harper's mouth actually fell open. Veronica turned the color of spoiled milk. Kept going soft, almost kind. I came here tonight dressed like your worst nightmare because I needed to know how you treat people when you think they got nothing. And baby, you showed me. You showed me real good. I stood up slow, every vertebra popping like gunfire. I have more money than God and Oprah combined. And I still shop at Goodwill because I don't need diamonds to know I'm a queen. You offered me chump change to stop being a mother. Hope that sits real pretty on your soul. I reached in my ratty tote, pulled out the black Amex Centurion that could buy that restaurant 10 times over, and laid it on the table like a loaded gun. Dinner's on me. Tip the waiter double, he's earned combat pay. Then I looked at Lucas, tears rolling hot down my cheeks but my voice steady as a preacher on Sunday. I love you, baby boy. Always will. But I will not be bought. Not for 700. Not for 7 million. I walked out with my head so high my neck hurt. Lucas chased me into the Atlanta night, sobbing like he was 10 years old again. Mom, why didn't you tell me? I grabbed his face with both hands, tears and snot and all. Because I didn't want you chasing money, baby. I wanted you chasing meaning. I wanted you to grow up kind. Looks like I still got work to do. He hugged me so hard I felt my ribs creak. Behind us, inside those crystal walls, Veronica and Franklin's cards got declined, one after another. The universe has a sense of humor that way. I paid the $800 tab with a card that doesn't even have a limit, left a $200 tip, and walked out into the humid Georgia dark feeling lighter than I had in decades. 3 days later Harper showed up at my apartment. No makeup, hair in a messy bun, wearing Target jeans and tears. She sat on my ancient couch and cried so hard she hiccuped. I'm so sorry. I didn't stop them. I was scared. I've been scared my whole life. I made her sweet tea, sat beside her, and let her talk till she was empty. Then I told her the rest, about the nights I wanted to give up, about the bonuses I never spent, about the college fund I started for Lucas the day he was born and never told a soul about. She left 4 hours later with red eyes and a full heart, promising to break the cycle. Lucas called the next morning, voice hoarse from yelling and crying and growing a spine overnight. Mom, we laid down the law. No more money with strings. No more talking down to people. They either get on board or they get left behind. They chose left behind. Threatened to cut Harper out the will, the whole 9. She told him to mail the paperwork. She'd use it to line the cat box. I laughed till I cried. These days Harper calls me Mama Evelyn, comes over in sweatpants, helps me make cornbread from scratch, and listens like I'm reading the Bible when I talk. Lucas brings the grandbabies over every Sunday and they climb all over me like I'm a jungle gym, sticky fingers and all, and I soak it up like sunshine. I still live in the same little apartment. Still drive the same Corolla, though the duct tape's silver now instead of black. Still clip coupons because old habits die hard and I like it. But sometimes when the mood strikes, I'll put on a little lipstick, slide into a dress that costs more than most folks' rent, and take myself to dinner just to remember I can. Mostly though, I sit right here on this porch swing, watching fireflies and waiting for my babies to come home. Because honey, I learned the hard way. Money's just paper if nobody loves you when you're broke. But love don't care what's in your bank account. Love shows up in a beat-up Corolla with a trunk full of groceries and a heart full of fight. Love wears thrift store shoes and still walks like it owns the world. Love is the only currency that never crashes. So that's my story, baby. The one I carried alone for damn near 60 years. Now you know why this old woman don't need diamonds. Because I've got something shinier. I've got peace. And peace, baby, that's the richest any of us ever gonna get. I wipe my eyes with the corner of the quilt, laugh a little at myself. Lord, look at me crying like a fool. Pass me a tissue, sugar. You hand me one, eyes shiny too. Good, I say, patting your knee. Means you felt it. Means you got a heart worth keepin'. The swing creaks on slow and easy. Now go call your mama. Tell her you love her. Rich or poor don't matter, just tell her. Because one day she won't pick up. And you'll wish you had. I lean back, close my eyes, and let the Georgia night wrap around me like the quilt your great-grandma pieced by hand. Rich don't mean a damn thing if you're lonely at the top. But loved. Loved is the only thing that follows you all the way home. And baby, I am filthy, stinkin', blessed to the bone loved. That's the real flex. Always has been. Alright sugar, that's the whole dang story. If this old grandma's truth hit you square in the chest, smash that like button. Hit subscribe Grandma Vault channel. And ring that little bell so you never miss another story from my past. Drop me a comment down below and tell me what part wrecked you the most. I read every single one, y'all. Your words keep this old heart beating strong. And if you've got a story of your own about family, money, pride, love, whatever, lay it in the comments too. We're all just walking each other home. Thank y'all for sitting with me. Now go hug your people, call your mama, and remember, real wealth ain't in your wallet. It's in the love that shows up when the wallet's empty.